key important thing to note, that is, if you are declaring a function pointer and if you are trying to point to any function like this, in our case it is void rv print something, the return type and the argument should be same. Do not skip this part, because in the end I am going to demonstrate one quick use case of a function pointer. Hi, welcome to the live coding series. So today we are going to discuss about one interesting and very important, a concept which will be asked by an interviewer to any embedded engineer, may it be a fresher or an experienced. This is one of the most common question that is found to be asked in any interview. So I feel this is something that needs to be, learned by everybody. So we are going to discuss more on function pointers today. What is a function pointer? A function pointer is basically a type of pointer that stores the address of a function, which can allow the functions to be passed as arguments and which can be invoked dynamically. So where do we use this function pointer? We are using this function pointers in like callback functions or in any kind of event-driven programs. So practically speaking, as an embedded engineer, if we have used I2C or timers in STM32, you would have definitely, worked on something called as callback functions. Callback functions are nothing but a function which is triggered or invoked by a library or a driver whenever, the operation happens. So now we have understood what exactly a function pointer is. Now let's try to understand how do we implement it. So what are the different syntax that we can use to write a function pointer, and how do we incorporate these pointers in our C program, or in the firmware that we write for different MCUs. So let's get into coding and quickly understand how it works. There's a quick syntax that we can use to write a function pointer. So the function pointer can be written like something like this: return type, function pointer name, and arguments. Now let's write a basic function just to print something. Void rv print something should be the function name of type void. So printf subscribe to my channel. Now this is a function. As I mentioned earlier, function pointers are nothing but they are simple pointers which point to the address of any function. Now let us declare one function pointer, void star fptr, which is our function pointer name, and the argument is of type void. Here is one key concept, or key important thing to note, that is, if you are declaring a function pointer and if you are trying to point to any function like this, in our case it is void rv print something, the return type and the argument should be same. If you are giving it as void here, even the argument should be same, that is void in the function that you are defining. Now let us understand how do we point to this function and print it. So we have already declared the function pointer. You just have to do this. You just have to assign the function's address to that function pointer and then just call it. Now you can see the print statement is executed on the console. So this is how you can demonstrate a simple basic use case of a function pointer. Now, when it comes to interviews, interviewer might expect a little higher considering your years of experience, or the way you have already written the codes before in your previous organization. It totally depends on many factors. We might have to demonstrate it in a different way. So this is one bonus lecture which I'm going to explain, wherein if you are trying to demonstrate this program using this use case or maybe some formulated use cases by yourself, I'm sure the interviewer will be pretty much impressed with the level of code that you do in the coding round or the programming round. So let's simulate one use case here and understand how can we showcase or how can we demonstrate a quick use of function pointer in the programming round. Let's say the use case is something like this. We are initializing a timer by passing a callback function as an argument to the init function. which does nothing but printing something based on the written code of the timer init function. Now let's consider an enum. There are two things. One is success and one more is failure. So as we have used type def, I'm using it here like this, basically giving it a name. Now let me create a simple callback function, void callback. Now let's create one more framework, void timer rv timer init. So here we are going to pass this callback function as an argument to the timer init function. So what we have to do, we have to declare a function pointer void star cb execute of argument is of type void. Here I'm going to take one written code statement, written code enum variable. I'm going to declare it written code var. But I'm going to hard code it for now and just call the same in the callback function. So right now we cannot keep this as void because we are passing the type of written code that is available once we do a hall based hall timer in it or some hall based APIs when we try to execute in STM32's firmware. So it returns something like hall okay, hall busy. So we have simulated that case. So I have hard coded it. So as we are passing the enum, our function pointer and the callback function also should be the type of the same. So now let's create a switch case here. Return variable case failure. So if it is a success, just print success. If it is a failure, just print it as oops, failed. We are ready with our code. Now let's execute this. To pass the callback function as an argument to the function pointer and see how does our code behave. Hard coded the value as success, hence we have received printf as the printf basically prints the success as the print statement. If I had called out if I had passed failure as the hard coded value to this particular variable, it will now give oops failed. So what is happening here? Here we are defining one timer init function. In this is basically a wrapper function for the hall layer in when it comes to STM32 series. So we are passing a function pointer as an argument to the function timer init. So what happens is when we are when the timer init function is executed and it passes the written code variable to this callback function pointer, which needs to be executed. It goes to this function. Basically, the address is defined inside this callback cb execute function. So it goes to the callback function and executes the appropriate switch case. So this is how you can demonstrate a quick, a quick demo on how a function pointer works. So definitely, if there are more concepts which you want to know, please do drop in the comment section below. For more such videos, stay tuned. Have a good day. Bye. Take care.